Yay.
I was gonna say some sort of joke, but
What are you gonna say?
I don't know. I'm too tired to think of something right now.
Even just doing this actually hurts muscles in my waist that I
Oh.
didn't know were gonna be bothered by making that face.
Crispin wants to know if you're gonna get into the RT D
Uh, DTR,
R2D2.
R2D2. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. I wasn't planning on having more than one beer because I hadn't actually had many beers in the last few weeks.
Just
Only
a
on Ginger Ale.
Pliny.
Just the Pliny. That was it. Uh, which Darren is holding on to. Darren, don't drink
Who's
it.
Darren?
Mm.
Just kidding.
So
All right.
Kim pulled a lot of questions aside. We want this to be a time for you to be able to ask anything that maybe you didn't get asked in the main show. I was taking so long to describe the story. It was important to me. You guys can all see us and hear us, okay, right? Looks like my computer was overheating for some reason. Not overheating, but overclocking. Weird.
Greg's already put you on the 2020 start list.
Damn it. Is that what he said?
Yes.
He's the nicest race director out there. He's just so super kind and like he's so pumped. I signed up for the race. I didn't tell him. I registered and like I think a month later he saw that I registered. He's like, dude, why didn't you tell me you're gonna run? Like I'm so excited. And I went, man, it's because I don't really want to make a big deal about it. And the week before the race, he's like, Ethan Newberry's coming. Like emailed everyone. He's like, Ethan's gonna be here. And I was like, oh my god, no. Kindest race director. And seeing him at the start line, he's just like a bundle of excitement. He loves seeing runners finish his races.
Yeah.
It's such a cool thing. Go for it.
Let's kind of see if we can quickly rip through some of these questions because there are a lot of them. Some parts of some of these questions we maybe covered a little bit in the chat in the main show already, but I'm just gonna kind of rip through them. So, a question from Anna. Anna says, "Hello, Ethan. What did you learn from this experience of DNFing a 100-miler? Are you discouraged, hopeful? Do you feel more wise?"
So for sure, I think I answered most of that in a long version. I am not disappointed. There is certainly a level that's like I would have loved to have left that race with a buckle. Had you asked me, but that's only because I had the success that I had up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere in my preparation for that race did I really conceive of finishing it. And that is people who I think have run hundreds would go, man, you can't start 100 without believing that you can finish 100. But it wasn't the doubt in the race. It was the doubt in my own mind. And it was the battle that I knew that I had to have before I even like considered finishing it. So once I had that battle early on, it got to like mile 10 or 15, it kind of was like, okay, I can actually race now. That's when I started to be like, maybe I can finish this. And those moments were fleeting of like finishing it because I knew I had spent so much energy with the anxiety early on that it was like it was just going to be a battle no matter what. So I think no disappointment, a little frustration. I didn't come back with a buckle, but ultimately I feel like what I learned about my ability to kind of turn my mood around with food and my ability to do calories in a certain way, my ability to get out of a car when it was done twice. Like done. That's new for me. Like
that's good for the toolbox.
100% great for the toolbox. We did it at Cascade, but that was a hypothermic thing.
That was like a get warm. We need to get you dry and warm.
Get you new clothes, get you warm, and watch the body change your temperature. That was like a clear problem solution. This was much more of a like multiple problems. What's the solution? Well, we kind of fixed it, put a Band-Aid on it. Let's go see what's up. That is something I never thought I'd learn. So I'm really happy with that. Never had it happen before.
Question from Deb in the chat room. Deb says, Ethan, did you consider contacting your coach during the low points of the race to get some advice?
A lot. I considered calling David Roach on the phone multiple times or texting him.
I did give you the message from David at one point and it made you teary.
Yeah. Thank God for no signal in the Marin headlands.
Yeah,
from time
there's
to
a
time.
lot. There's a lot of no signal.
A lot of no
there.
signal, and that saved me from calling my parents. That saved me from calling Kim. That saved me from a lot of outside influence. That I'm not saying it's cheating, but it was certainly like some of the shit I had to take care of myself. I thought about calling and texting David a lot. I believe you and him were sort of texting throughout the day, like,
yeah,
Ethan's doing great
I texted him
or
like
whatever.
a couple updates. I tried. Yeah. He's very He's very busy, and I'm always like, "Oh, we're the least of his concern." But
Yeah.
he at the same time, I feel like he also loves it, and he would have responded like, if you would have
Oh,
texted
he
him
would
a
have
thousand
answered. Yeah,
times
he would
during
have
the
texted
day.
everything about. Yeah, he's super
Yeah.
great about that for
Uh,
everybody, not just like us.
let's see. Gretchen Walla in the
Hi.
chat room says, "I am in the mindset of run when you want, run what you want after TNOA Country 100K. Same mindset or ready to jump back into training mode for you?"
I I took training this year to be more like, let's just focus on fun. And we've tried to take our training runs and figure out like what's a creative way of doing our 25 miler today. Like let's do this new 5 mile loop and let's try to repeat
Mm.
it and like, let's do these new things. I'm into that, which is let's change up training to make it different and interesting.
That's your mindset post race. I think that's what she's saying. Like post her
Oh,
100K
oh,
at
oh, oh.
TNOA, are you eager to jump back into training mode, or are you having
Mm,
the same mindset as what she's experiencing right now, which is run when you want, run what you want.
this was my A race. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can still. Today was the first day I actually like walked. You commented on it. I was walking out of the airport, and you're like, "Damn, someone's got a chip in their step." Um,
Chip in her step.
that's not what you said, but it was along the lines of like, "Wow, you can walk again." And I was like, I am walking about 82% of what I thought I could. Um, I am going to take a break and just like chill. And if miles start coming back to the legs, I'm going to welcome them. But one thing I learned after Cascade Crest was that I didn't feel the effects of Cascade Crest until 3 months later. And 100 mile, I didn't finish the 100 miles, but 100K that took me close to, it took me forever. I was out there for 21 hours. Um, 21 hours is the second longest time I've ever run. And through high temps during the day and low temps at night, it puts your body into a full on shock mode that I anticipate will take time to recover from. Beyond the like, my legs feel great. Let's go for a run. Like we're talking endocrine system, the nervous system, like everything takes a hit. So I'm going to be so patient. I'm going to spend the rest of the year like just doing miles when they feel good. And again, David, my coach, I'm definitely going to kind of loft the ball into his court and say like, hey, if there's ease me back into just sort of like weekly fun runs. I know I don't want to jump back in before I'm ready, but I also would love to just get back to some fun.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm thinking about racing next year, for example. Like I do imagine picking something big and fun. And now that I'm also not so afraid of the DNF, which is another thing, it's kind of my first DNF. And it was one of those like, oh, I want to be the person that never DNFs. Like I really want to be that brave person that never quits. I'm like, fuck that noise.
And we also, myself, Ryan, and Darren took liberty of reminding Ethan that all three of us have DNF'd 100 before, and we welcomed you into our club.
Let this be something. DNF. Do it. Find a race that puts you in a zone that you might DNF. I'm not saying DNF when you feel great. Like I'm gonna quit because he told me to. But but do a DNF. It is a moment that you will be thankful for later because it like I've heard this so many times before, but you learn from your failures and you all this stupid quotes people put under Instagram photos, right? There's an element of it that really is true. Like go fail, because I had so much fun failing this weekend. It was hard and it was emotionally exhausting and I'm a fucking wreck, but also I'm like so thankful for that failure this weekend. Because I got to try a lot of new things. I got to explore a lot of new things, discover new things, and I got to push myself so far beyond a comfort zone, um, and surround myself with incredible humans and learn more about them and us and the team element that I'll never regret it. So go DNF, go do it. It's worth it. It's fun.
Question from Erica in the chat. Which one was that?
I think it was the trombone.
Question from Erica in the chat room. Erica says, Ethan, how does constantly interviewing elite runners, usually after they've had a big success, affect your mental health around running? Is it ever demotivating by comparison?
It is it's so easy to just say the cliche, don't compare. Don't compare yourself. You can never compare yourself. Courtney Dauwalter is both Kim and mine's like hero. And I can't compare myself to Courtney. Kim can't compare herself to Courtney. No human on earth can compare themselves to Courtney. But what you can find is commonality in some of the things that these elites do or overcome. Like her just saying those words, just look for the other side of the down, like the pits of despair. Like just look for the other side. It's such a simple way of putting like you're gonna feel like shit at some point, but there will be a point when you don't feel like shit anymore. And like that simple phrase is such an easy thing to sort of digest for us normal folk. So interviewing elites can be frustrating because it is like, wow, how can you go run a 4-minute mile? Like, what the fuck is that like? But there's also elements of these interviews, and we try to bring on people that fail too. You know,
Right. That's what
we
I
we
was going to
talk to
say as
people who
well.
don't succeed and talk about that. Um, I think it's just as important because they also fail. You know, look at UTMB this year. Some of the top men athletes didn't finish, despite all this press and all the pressure of them doing incredibly well. I mean, imagine what it's like for them on that global stage with all the media and all
Hmm.
this sponsor stress and everything. Like that's a lot of shit that they have to deal with. We're very fortunate to get to do what we do. We choose to do what we do. We pay for what we are
Right.
doing. Um, so I think if anything, it's just like as much as it is frustrating to talk to someone who does so great and you can't like even relate to them on that level, uh, remember that we're all human and we all go through struggles and fail. And as cliche as it sounds, like there's beauty in that breakdown, and we can all sort of embrace it from time to time.
Question from Nathaniel. Nathaniel says, Ethan, you've run quite a few challenging ultras, notwithstanding the DNF. Where does this effort rank among races you've entered?
Ooh, that's a good question.
If it's at or near the top, what makes this race so memorable? I think you've said why it's so memorable, but
Certainly, I've said why this race is memorable. As far as difficulty, it is not. It is like I remember after Cascade Crest thinking that was by far the hardest course I've ever touched. It has secrets within it that only those who have run it will know that it like sucks and it tortures and it's painful. Headlands is very difficult, but it is not the hardest race I've ever run. It's super fun and it's beautiful. Fucking it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. There isn't a point in that race you don't have a view. It's constant views. Um, what I will say is the most difficult part. Again, the experience was difficult for me, and that experience was the most difficult experience I've ever had by far. So that experience is unique in and of itself. The race course itself is not the most difficult thing I've run. Um, but that it's still very difficult. Like Greg made a difficult course even more difficult. You're not dealing with altitude. The biggest climb is 1,000 feet. Um, but there is no flat. There's not a section of flat trail on that whole thing. So that's what's really hard about it. It's like Lake Sonoma. So everyone that
it's
was running is like,
very
yeah, it's
Lake
just like Lake
Sonoma.
Sonoma. Yeah, where it's just constant up, down, up,
Yeah.
down, up, down. You're either going up or you're going down, and it goes for 100 miles.
Yeah.
And you see some of the same terrain. Yeah, that's the toughest part about it. The mental side of it is probably one of the tougher things, like the washing machine style. That's a unique thing I had never dealt with before. Of like the terrain I was going over after loop 2, thinking, how am I going to do this at mile 95? Like how?
Constantly
How?
thinking about
The future.
yeah, what time it's gonna be when
Yeah.
I'm gonna be back here, what shape I'm gonna be in.
I
Yeah.
didn't have that in Squamish. Like Squamish 50/50, you kind of have that because the 50K is 50K of the 50 miler. So I know, oh, tomorrow I'm going to be running up the same mountain. But that's so much easier to digest thinking, well, it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Cascade Crest, you're like, oh, I still have the needles up ahead. But you don't know what they are because you've never been on them in the race yet. So that was definitely the most challenging part of this course. It's fucking gorgeous, though. Beautiful.
Looked great at night.
Yes, it did. Oh, the moon.
It was like a full moon.
Come
I
on.
made you turn around and look at the views of the ocean and the
Mhm.
full moon. Do you wanna maybe do a more detailed rundown of gear and
Yes.
nutrition that you use?
So for Patreon crew only, you guys get the full breakdown of gear and like
Sorry,
honest.
my back is sore, that's why I keep leaning
No, me
away.
too. I'm realize I'm going like this because my left side is better than my right
I'm
side.
just
I
gonna
don't
do
know
it
why
here.
yet. Um, Full breakdown from gear, head to toe, nutrition, everything. If you've got questions about it, ask. I'll try to be as specific as possible and talk real talk. Hat, it is a tiger claw hat.
You're wearing mine now because
I
yours
am
is gross from the
because mine is
race.
gross. Um, these are the hats that I've been loving lately. They're super deep dish, trucker style, but they got the mesh on the back. We'll be doing a lot more Ginger Runner style hats with this, GR Crew hats with this. More info on that in the coming weeks. From there down, the glasses I wore were I want to say Tofino, but they're not Tofino. They're the
T
Teofino?
No,
Teofoni?
Tifosi? I don't
Tifosi?
know how to say it.
Yeah, Tifosi Optics. Tifosi. You get them at REI, you
Or
get them
maybe
everywhere.
it's
Tifosi!
Tifosi!
Oh, they do have my color in polarized.
That they didn't have them in stock.
Ah,
You're
so
okay.
mad. They're so great. So Tifosi shades, they're super cheap, really cool looking glasses. I really loved them. Moving down from there, pack, I use the Solomon Advanced Skin 5L. Big shout out to Solomon. They sent that to me last week. I didn't even get to run in it, and I had confidence enough to use it for the race. Two, I think they're 18-ounce soft flasks. I've been training with those in the past. I used them with like the North Face pack and stuff like that. But yeah, two long soft flasks. Uh, in the upper right pocket, I had a bunch of Ziploc bags that I would use to stuff food into. So you basically carry extra Ziplocs with you in case of emergencies. So like if you need to pick up potatoes and watermelon, you have some Ziplocs to use because aid stations don't always have that sort of thing. In the two stuff pockets on the left-hand side, I had all my spring gels. So I would use Canterbury gels with Speed Nut or Hill Aid,
The yellow one, yeah.
yellow one.
Mhm.
So Speed Nut was great. I tried to save the caffeine for later in the day and into the night. By the time we got into the night miles, I couldn't really do Speed Nuts as often because I just wanted to like put as much food in there as possible. You can read that. You don't have to point at it. Ryan Thrower, what brand Vuvuzela did you use? Tifosi. It was the same
Oh,
brand as the
so
sunglasses.
Jeff Golden chat room says it's Tifusi?
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 Tifusi, Italian for big fans, as in cycling or F1 geeks. Tifusi.
Tifusi.
Oh,
Now we know.
I thought it was Tifosi. Tifosi. Nope, but
Continuing on.
Tifusi.
Gus is drinking.
Oh, Gus's water. So anyways, yeah, I'm a big F1 geek then. The F1 glasses. I think they look cool. So yeah, spring energy gels on one side, and I would carry whatever the amount I needed for aid station to crew to
Plus
crew,
a little
basically.
extra.
Plus a little extra. I also carried my cell phone in there, ginger chews. I went through a ton of ginger chews. On the right hand side, I'd use the Spring Electro Ride, which is their electrolyte drink, which is like apple juice and ginger. It's great. Tastes really good, refreshing. I also had my Aftershocks headphones. The Aftershocks recommended by Brian Sands and other members of the crew.
Mhm.
I've been wanting the bone conducting headphones for a long time. They finally sent a review sample. I was really impressed with the battery life on them. Like when I used them on the plane today, I still had more than half the battery life, which I couldn't believe. They do dig a little bit into the back of my ears, especially when I'm wearing sunglasses. So like they don't sit in your ear, they sit on your ear, and they kind of dig into the back of my ears, which is a bit of a problem after a while. It just got painful. So I use those headphones. In the back, I had my GoPro and the selfie style stick. So I was filming a little bit during the race, but not a ton. I had a UD body flask. Thank you, Darren, for letting me borrow that for the Coca-Cola. My headlamp was the Petzl Now that I've had for like 10 years. Meow, meow. I used, for the night section, I used the new Ultra Spire waist belt that's like 900 lumens or something. Ben had been using that before. He used it at TNOA. He's used it in other races that I paced him at that I was like, wow, this is a really impressive waist light. I trying it out in my room, like when they sent it to me, the strap was really bugging me, and I was like, the build quality is not great.
You thought I was gonna
I thought it was
jiggle.
gonna jiggle and kind of suck, but then we tested it out, and I was blown away. Having a light source not on your forehead is important. I've always known that. So we've done like handhelds, but having that waist light from Ultra Aspire was like life changing. It worked better than the uh, Katuga. Oh,
Not
not Katula.
Katula.
Oh my God.
It's like 6 LED or 5.
Someone watching knows the name I'm trying to think of. Kagala. I think it's Kagala, which is the little LED bar. I use that at TNOA as pacing, and it's great. It's like a giant headlamp, but that revolves around a charge pack, a giant long cable, a band of LED lights that you can't really attach very well. Like it's difficult to attach to your body. Once you get it, it works great. But this waist belt was fantastic. It's out of the way, sits on your waist. It's actually pretty comfortable and provided light for both of us. Like you barely needed to use your headlamp unless you were behind me on single track. But like Fire Road side by side, it was great. And having that off center light was fantastic. Shorts, I was wearing the Janji, the new Janji. I don't know the exact. I did the review of the Summer Short Showdown, and the Janji shorts that were on that list were really good. The new pair is a lighter, thinner version of those that is fantastic. So I knew it was going to be hot, and those shorts were great. The top was the Rabbit. It's a new Rabbit top. It's a really lightweight sort of mesh material. Fantastic. Felt great. No chafing, no issues. Despite being black, it didn't feel hot or absorb heat. The heat was just hot as it was. Socks I used in Jinji's. Shoes I started in the, again, Hoka One Evo Speed Goats, switching into the Evo Mafate 2s, quickly realizing that I did not want to wear those, and then switching back into the Olympus was the best choice. The Olympus were great after my feet had already expanded a bunch. What am I forgetting? Poles, Black Diamond Z poles, carbon. Let me know if there's anything else. Ginger Runner buffs. We used head wraps. Used a couple of those. Are you looking up the Janji shorts?
Buffs. So the
Rabbit.
rabbit shirt was a strong tee.
Yeah, it's
and
new.
then the Janji shorts are the AFO middle shorts in Mia lace.
Yes, the AFO middle short in Mia lace. They're awesome. I think they look cool too, like roses.
They look different.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that rabbit shirt is fantastic.
Oh, and then you also switched into a long sleeve.
Lululemon something long sleeve.
Yeah, I can't
for the
remember the name
mile.
of the shirt.
If you have any more questions about the gear, let me know. Overall, really pleased with every choice I made. I think all the gear was fantastic. The pack wasn't as...
Oh, watch. Kim Wrinkle says watch.
Oh, the Koros Apex. I had to send back the Vertix per their request. And then they sent along an Apex per my request. And I'm demoing that now. And I've been a huge fan. I was worried that the battery wouldn't last the entire 100 miles, but by the time I was done, after 21 hours, I had 38% battery left, which is still pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, any more questions about gear, bring it. Happy to talk about it. Any other questions?
Oh, questions? Like just general questions?
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, great question from Kim Wrinkle in the chat room. Kim says, will getting to the start perhaps be more manageable next time after this experience, or do you anticipate similar struggles each time?
So, yeah, Kim, that's a great question. I'm sitting here now thinking I could start a race tomorrow and I'd be great because I just ran 62 miles, and how much confidence did I just get from that? I'm not that naive though, because I know after the 100K last year, I was like flying on cloud 9 for weeks, and it's quick how your mind can forget. Your mind can sit here and go, look at this success. Like I'm so living in this moment. And then you can quickly realize, ooh, maybe I'm not ready anymore. Like maybe I'm not in that same place I was at that time. So while I can sit here and say I can't wait to try another race and get to that start line and be like, look how I'm so ready for this. I'm also very aware that at any point I feel like I could go back to the same place of like, I don't even know if I want to start this thing.
I'm gonna need to take him out.
Yeah, yeah. Kim's gonna take us out. You want to wrap this up?
We can, unless you need more time. I just don't because he's.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We because Gus.
I'll take him out.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna. I'm just telling him what you're doing because they can't hear you anymore. Uh, because Gus, we have to take Gus to doggy daycare while we travel long distances. Oh, he hears me. He goes to the doggy daycare place, and by the time we bring him home, he's always like, "Oh, I'm so excited to be home." But occasionally, he's like, "Can I still pee inside like I did at doggy daycare?" So Kim has to take him outside because he was just scratching at the door. But we will probably wrap this up. If you guys have any last minute questions here, Siren or DTR? Man, I'm DTR all the way. DTR is delicious. A2B2, congrats again, Ethan. We're so proud of you. Thank you guys. Both you guys making that video. Kim showed me that video, and like, let me also take this moment to just thank the crew. Andrew and Mandy here, A2B2, helped me sort of remember that. But they sent a video. They emailed a video to Kim, just saying like, "Hey, Ethan, really, really proud of you. Get out there, crush it. Tell those negative thoughts to shut up and go have fun." And seeing videos like that, and seeing emails and messages and stuff from you guys, the crew, is I don't think you'll ever know how important it is and special it is because we do this one because we love it, but also two because this community has grown organically and has become something so much more important to us than you will ever know. That when we get messages like that, where it's like there's this group of people that we get to meet occasionally in person, but also support us every Monday, and we get to hang out with, that they support us as well from afar, from other states and other countries. It's so powerful. It is so powerful. And we just can't thank you enough. There were so many times out there this weekend where I was thinking, I can't wait to get back to the after show on Monday's show and talk about this moment or this thing. And you are all to thank for that. Like you all have created this like beautiful place where we can all share stories and adventures and triumphs and failures and be so supportive of another and not judge and be like, listen, cool. Oh man, it sucks you didn't finish it, but how great is it going to be for the next one? Like, and not for me, but for everyone, like everyone here who's talking about the races that they have coming up, or there's a crew specifically that ran Squamish, and they were communicating with each other in a Facebook message group, and they were talking about how some succeeded and some had to drop or that sort of thing, but everyone was like, oh, we're all here to support another, and let me go pick you up at this aid station, and I'll be there to grab a beer with you, and this sort of thing. And it's just this really cool sort of relationship that this group of strangers has created, and now people aren't strangers. And so A2B2, perfect example, just sending a video was so profound and so powerful. It meant a lot. It meant a lot. And every week we get to see you guys in the chat room, all of the crew, and we get to kind of catch up and see what's going on with everyone every week. And yeah, I just don't think you'll ever get to know how much that truly means to us and how this community would be nothing without all of you. It really is such a special thing that we just can't believe it even happened. Like the fact that there's this community and all that stuff is it's just so cool. So, oh, Gus is back. Did he have to go potty? Yeah. So I want that to be kind of the end note here, is just how much you all mean to us. And we say it, but I don't know if you'll ever know how much we truly mean it. I was telling them about A2B2 sending that video and how much that
Tell
actually,
those bad feelings to piss off.
yeah, and how much it actually like meant to me, and just the messages, and even to each other, the messages and communications from all of them to each other and stuff, supporting one another. We all learn from each other. That's what it is. Or that's what is so cool. Yep. AK Trail Runner, I love our family. And it really is truly it's a family. It really is. It's such a cool thing how much everyone totally supports one another. Highs and lows, through and through. It is a really cool thing. The
Yeah.
sweet is not as sweet without the sour.
Ooh, sour gummy bears.
Ooh, sour gummy bears. I'd be done with that. We're exhausted, and when I
Thank
get
you, A2B2.
yeah, when we get exhausted, I tend to talk too much. So I think
I'm in for
after
a long night.
for 3.5
Just
hours.
kidding.
Thank you, everybody, so much. We'll do some more updates for Patreon, obviously, in the coming days as we sort of unwind. And Ryan Thrower took some incredible photos. We'll be sharing some of those private sets with you. Maybe share a couple photos on the Patreon page. Just be like, look how great Ryan's photos are. And the video, we'll start going through footage. I don't anticipate that being edited in the next week or anything like that. We still want to get the Western States
Yeah.
with Caitlin video done first. But let's take a moment to reflect that this week is now Kim's week. We're heading up to Whistler this coming weekend. Kim's tackling the Whistler Alpine Meadows 110-kilometer race. She is absolutely ready. And if anything, this last weekend has certainly proven that you are ready. Like, you can dig deep. You got me out of my funk. You can get yourself out of
So I'll
funk.
just stop and just cheer on the other runners.
So let's all wish Kim a fantastic, safe, successful journey up to the top of Whistler and Blackcomb, and then get down to that finish line and get that.
I just want to make the
buckle.
first cutoff, man.
We'll make it happen. So, depending on your level, we'll be sending out emails this week for like the one-on-one chats and stuff like that at those top tiers. Just
we are traveling again this weekend.
We are traveling again this weekend, so just know that there will probably be some radio silence between Friday and Tuesday, that sort of thing, because it's a long weekend. But let's all send some love Kim's way, because it's going to be fucking fun. It's going to be a wild weekend.
There's fresh snow there, apparently.
Yeah, we're going to have to go do some REI shopping and see if we can't get some additional waterproof layers or call in all the favors, take out a loan to pay back the Airbnb bills from San Francisco. Thank you all so much for being who you are and being what you're about, because you're all fucking great humans. Wonderful, wonderful people. And we can't thank you enough for the support. This weekend was a testament. So, do you even know what you just pressed?
No. Do you?
Mm-mm. I'm sure it was great, though.
I hope it was a trombone.
Which one did you press?
Orange.
Ooh, I don't know what that one is. Put some hickory sticks in your drop bag.
Hickory stick.
Waterproof socks. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
All right, we're gonna take Gus apparently back out to go potty.
I think he's interested in his food bowl now.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, so much. Get out there, train hard, race harder, and party the hardest.
I know I am.
I just did. See you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.